So, welcome to Ladder Chat, ladies and gentlemen. It is Sunday, January 20th, the day before Martin Luther King Day, the day before we get a day off from school, all that fun stuff, and you have just tuned into Ladder Chat, the weekly to bi-weekly event where members of Evolution Gaming come to air their dirty laundry, and specifically the last few weeks it's been Freekz and I just kind of talking about the world of sports and laddering on the beta. We're going to continue that tradition tonight. Freekz, I know I've talked you out of everything, outside of everything else, but how was your holidays? How was everything else? Tell the fine two viewers that actually view this show.
Yeah, they're pretty good. I'm not going to lie. I had a good Christmas. Had a good New Year's. How about you?
I can't really complain outside of the fact that I had a passing in my family, which was tragic, and it was a blessing and a curse all in the same move. So other than that, it was a good holiday season, and we are back in school now. How is your semester looking?
Not too bad, actually. Taking my first online class to complement my campus classes, so it should be interesting. Um, I heard that you actually dropped a couple classes from your huge workload. How's that going?
Yeah, I did. Originally, I was looking at 21 credits with two core classes, and I changed that. I dropped the two core classes. I dropped one of my professional electives, and I'm actually in the process of picking up another professional elective in the form of an undergraduate thesis. So that should be fun.
Sadly, so far this semester, we've also lost a team member.
We lost a team member. Who'd we lose?
Epo Blood.
Oh, that's right. Oh my
Blood
God,
Cooker.
I forgot we lost Blood Cooker.
He's in Romania now.
He's in Romania, so Will,
No
if you get a chance to see this, I've seen pictures on the internet, so I know he has internet access.
I saw pictures too, and from what I can tell, it's definitely not a first world country.
Definitely not. So we wish him the best. We wish the people that he's serving the best, and we wish him safe travels all the way around.
That too.
So, with that introduction and everything aside, Freekz, let's just talk about our first subject, since actually it balances well with going into the beta. For anybody who doesn't know, this is up on Team Liquid, as are mostly all of the subjects we'll cover tonight, but we're going to talk about balance changes.
Psst.
What?
Ravens won.
Oh, the Ravens did win. Okay, so there we go. Super Bowl matchup is also set. We have some Harbaugh and Harbaugh crime come next week in New Orleans.
Man, Ravens and the 49ers.
There you go.
Man, I actually didn't see that coming.
You know what? I would not have guessed it either. But we have that set in stone now too, so
Anyway,
I get to go to a bar and just watch stuff happen because I don't really care for either one of those teams. But going back to the beta changes, these took effect. When was it? January 18th? Yep. January 18th is the date that I'm seeing.
Something I've noticed that is kind of keeping me from being able to, notice when things come into effect. I know when I've asked people, at least online, a lot of people, I get mixed answers when I ask, like, when did this patch go into effect? Because it doesn't seem like they actually have the standard patch, the patcher that they used for Wings of Liberty. Like, it seems like it almost just spontaneously updates, and these changes go into effect and you don't even know about it.
Yeah.
Because because I was laddering yesterday, and if these changes did go into effect, I had no idea. Like, for starters, the Reaper health increase from 50 to 60, I had no idea that happened.
Yeah, the blue post here from January 18th is saying we'll be bringing down the beta at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard to perform balance changes as listed below. The first balance change that we will talk about, and since you're a Terran player, I'm interested in hearing your opinion on this. I know you and I, like I said, we've talked outside of the game for more than one of these subjects, but what's your thoughts on the Reaper? The Reaper health was increased from 50 to 60, but I believe in a previous patch the damage was nerfed.
Yeah, the damage was nerfed quite a bit. Obviously, that hasn't changed now. The damage is the same as it was in the previous patch. This new patch is just changing the health, and I think that is kind of needed because it used to do, I think, double the damage it does right now. It does 2 attacks of 4 because it's got 2 guns, and they both shoot at the same time, so that's a total of 8 damage. And it used to do like double that versus light units, so you could really kill probes, drones, and SCVs pretty quickly, and also Marines, Zerglings, Zealots if you could kite them. But yeah, I've noticed that especially since they've taken out battlefield awareness and you can't see up cliffs anymore. That wasn't this patch, but it was the previous one, and also that damage reduction. When I was watching Day 9 a couple of weeks ago and he was playing around with these Reapers, they were ridiculously powerful, and so something was needed to be done. So obviously they've changed damage to light. They do a lot less damage, but they do have nitro packs. That's not an upgrade anymore. As soon as they spawn right out of the factory, they have nitro packs, which is what, 3.75 speed, I think. And
something to that effect.
Yeah, so they're faster than speedling, or not speedlings, but non-speedlings. Also, they don't require a tech lab, so you can rush them a bit faster. You still need gas because they cost 25 gas to create, but you don't need a tech lab, so you can get them out a little bit quicker. And I've noticed that being able to produce them faster, that and having nitro packs right off the bat allows you to hit faster with them, but you don't do as much damage initially. Mm-hmm. Now, I've definitely played on the ladder with them because it is a hell of a fun time. Whether you're cheesing or just using Reaper as an opener, but they definitely have a lot of potential to still do a whole lot of damage right now. And to do as much damage as you could before, you need a few more Reapers just because they do less damage. But it's not as hard to get to that point because you can put a reactor on your barracks and produce 2 at a time, mm-hmm. and you can get that Reaper production started a lot faster than you could before when you needed tech labs. So overall, I mean, I don't know if I'd call it a nerf or a buff per se. Mm-hmm. It's definitely a change. I still have to play around with it a little bit more to get a good opinion about that.
And actually, I played a couple of games of 2s earlier today with another friend, and I noticed you were starting to see a lot more Reapers a little bit earlier. I know that sounds really, really silly to say because, I mean, you figure, yeah, you're able to now, as you said, build them from the reactor and all that fun stuff, but it's been a while since I played between the increase in workload and just I've been dipping back into WoW a little more than normal and whatnot. I did notice that there are a lot more Reapers usually on the field than previously.
Yeah, so. And I'm not going to go out and blame that on Day 9, but I'm going to attribute some of that popularity to Day 9 because more than one of his recent dailies, he's goofed around with Reapers and made them work pretty well, which is awesome.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's Reaper changes. I'm sure we're going to see some of it tonight as we progress through these games and talk about just a variety of other things. There is a little scrolling ticker up on the top. As you can see, that's our kind of lineup of topics for the evening. The second change that came into effect in this patch was the supply cost of the Void Ray increased from 3 to 4, and activating prismatic alignment now activates a timer. So they actually put a cooldown on prismatic alignment, which I kind of
I didn't realize that it didn't have one before.
No, you could activate it, but there was no hard timer on it.
Huh. So you could just turn it on and off whenever you wanted?
Basically, yeah.
So why not just keep it always on?
That was what people were doing, but now it lasts for a duration and has all that stuff. The duration part was actually added. I forget what.
Which is why they're now called skill arrays.
Yeah. But the supply thing I think is nice because it forces players to not immediately go Void Ray. As opposed to you would see in games before where people would just go Void Ray. And
really, that's surprising though, because during my time on the ladder versus Protoss in the HOTS beta, I've never seen Void Rays ever used. Oracles, yes, but Void Ray, no.
Which, after what I saw today in a match that I played in, I wouldn't be surprised if those got nerfed again in another balance.
Yeah.
I don't know if
What,
you.
were you seeing a lot of damage being done by them?
Well, it would be two of them running in and wrecking an entire mineral line, even after the changes that they made, and that's
Oracles?
yeah, even
Oh, okay.
after
Okay.
the
Oracles.
pulsar beam. Uh,
No, they are definitely powerful. Like if I've been practicing a little bit with Brian Scipio, for all of those to know who he is by his Starcraft name. Um, he would do this Oracle, double gas, double Stargate rush, and he would get those 4 initial Oracles out really quickly,
mhm.
and literally, if you weren't prepared for that, you lose everything.
Yeah, and
Everything you have would die. And I even kind of practiced with him a little bit. And we have Reapers incoming, by the way. I have my Reapers over there, and he has his.
okay.
So Reaper fight.
All right, I've got stalkers out, and it wouldn't be a
Anyway,
game if I didn't
as
supply
I was
block
saying,
myself.
I was practicing with Brian a little bit, and even when I knew that they were coming, the only way I could beat them, the initial Oracles, because if you have Marines, yeah, they're anti-air, but Oracles just shred through light units like nothing.
Mhm.
Both of them are going Reapers.
Okay, well, I've got stalkers out, and I have my mothership core on the way.
Okay. But yeah, the only way I could really fend it off was with uh, purposely rushing Engineering Bay and getting missile turrets up, or rushing for Widow Mines.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just that was a little bit frustrating. By the way, I've been able to hold these Reapers back. They're not playing with them very well.
Okay.
So it's been pretty easy. But yeah, definitely if you don't know they're coming, and you get rushed with Oracles, I mean, I don't see how you could win, just because they're that effective right now.
Yeah, and that's I think that's something that Blizzard was trying to address. And can you let me out of the base?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's something they were trying to address with the Oracle as well. It seemed like at times, even if you knew they were coming, the trick was, can you stop it? And we haven't really seen play like that since the beta. So I mean, it made it really, really hard for players because, like I said, even if you knew it was coming, you knew stuff was going to be there. It was really hard to hold off. Which, blessing, curse, whatever the case may be, it wasn't fun for players.
I can see that.
Thankfully, Blizzard decided they were going to change that. Like I said, the Oracle is probably going to get patched one or two more times before release, because even at a 25 energy activation cost for the pulsar cannon, they still hit like freight trains. So
they actually don't. I mean, early in the game, yes, they do. They're very effective. But it's kind of like a planetary in the sense that, while, yeah, it can't be repaired, but the more units you have, obviously, the less effective it's going to be. Like, I was playing a little bit of TVP with Brian last night, and he put the pulsar cannon on his natural. Actually, no, not his natural, his third expansion. And I rolled up there with a decent-sized bio ball. Oh, nice. You just got that Widow Mine there. Cool.
He has a Widow Mine now?
Yeah, he does, where your obs is. I'm coming home.
Okay.
At this point, they've teched out of Reapers. But, yeah. I had a decent-sized army.
Those rocks for you. For the destructible debris.
All right.
So that they have to at least fight their way through it. And then the final change is something...
Dude, I wasn't done.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. It's been a long week.
That's all right. No, I was saying how the pulsar cannon, how once you get to a certain amount of units, you just, especially with medevacs, you don't even feel it. It's not as effective as it could be. I think, honestly, if anything's supposed to happen to that, I mean, if you feel it's over effective, you'd obviously have a different opinion. But I think that it could be boosted. It only does 20 damage, and a planetary does 40, and it's splash. So I feel like there are things that could be done to make the pulsar cannon more effective.
I could definitely see it. Like I said, just from what I've seen, I'm convinced there will be something else that I guess I should amend the statement to say there's going to be something else that happens to it. I mean, obviously we're in a beta, whether it be good, bad, or otherwise, something will happen to the pulsar cannon. But at this point, yeah, that's not on the patch notes. The other big patch change that happened was the change of burrow. Was moved from lair tech to hatchery tech. So on tier 1, you can get burrowed roaches. Now the kicker to that is while you can burrow roaches, you still can't move. The roach movement part of that is still on lair tech.
Right.
I mean, it's still a trade-off. You can burrow zerglings, be annoying, do all that fun stuff to waste your opponent's time and resources and ability to get a natural, all that fun jazz. And yes, for anybody watching, you guys can laugh in the comments at how bad I am because I just queued up 10 probes.
That's so you can.
I know, right? But
so we've got a bunch of Hellions and Marauders, so I think I'm just going to go Mass Marauder. It's like...
I will have a Colossus out here shortly.
Okay.
So yeah, that's beta changes so far. I'm sure, like I said, we'll see more coming in here sometime in the near future. So stay tuned for that. Blizzard has been fairly good at keeping the community not only involved with what's going on, but actually in the know of what's going on. So
yeah, that's something that's been pretty cool.
So with that, next thing we're going to move into is the Code S Season 1 groups have been announced. Right now, the poll that is out there for which group will be the group of death, Group A is leading that, and since we're in game right now actually playing, I won't be able to go. Okay.
What's that?
Oh, I was just looking at their composition, sorry.
Oh.
But
he's got a planetary there at his natural. That's
are we in the Bronze League?
We probably are.
Okay.
I wouldn't deny that.
Okay, I'm just making sure. Let me see. Okay, so closing out of that. Group 1 is Creator, Biol, Life, and Symbol. So 3 Zergs and a Protoss in that group. I could see where it kind of becomes an issue for a player, namely Creator, Creator Prime, who is the lone Protoss Ranger in that group. It's going to be a tough fight for him. I actually hope he does well. And I'm not usually a Creator fan, but that's just no fun at all.
No, I mean, I know he's an awesome player just for his performance in the World Championship Starcraft from Battle.net. He was him and Creator and Parting, right? They were in the finals?
Yes, they were. They were in the finals of the BWC here. Christ, when was that? December?
November. We played the finals at the LAN.
Oh, that's right, we did. I just couldn't remember when the LAN was. It was something to that effect.
Thanks, LAN.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's considered the group of death right now, which, like I said, I can see that being a very tough road for Creator, having a GSL champion and 2 very good players, and it looks like they're getting ready to move out.
They are on 1-1, looks like.
That's okay.
1 medevac.
I'll be on 2-2 with 3 Colossi out here in 3 Colossi out here in a second. So.
Another thing I wanted to mention, just going back to beta changes, it looks like they actually took out that heal boost for medevacs.
Oh, that's right. We forgot about that too.
Like I didn't even know that until I tried to tech to it recently, and I was like, wait, I know they moved it to Fusion Core, but then they just completely removed it from the game.
Yeah, and I'm actually kind of curious what the motivation for that was.
Yeah.
I know there are players, obviously, who are going to cry wolf and say, like, oh my god, this is, Blizzard, this is not fair. Wham, 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 wham. you know, you get that group of people that's going to do that, but at the same time, that was potentially
Looks like they're moving out, by the way.
Okay. That was potentially something to flank them, by the way, because they're going to flank us otherwise.
Watch out for the Woodhaus.
Or I guess I'll just take out their entire army.
That's probably a good idea if you can do that.
Because they were on 1-1 with Marine Marauder, they were trying to do a weird bio push. And for anybody who doesn't know what I'm talking about, it actually has been put out there by the community as something that people want to do, and that's the bio with Hellbats.
What am I? Hellbats. It's honestly, are we lagging? What's going on?
I think we are.
Yeah, I don't know what's up there, but yeah, no, I was really excited about Hellbats, but they just, I mean, I haven't found a good spot for them yet. I honestly, you know, I'm.
And we see Turbo Potato BM.
Monkey Lizard.
But yeah, I've actually heard people using them with Marine Marauder medevac pushes based solely on the fact that you can heal Hellbats.
Yeah, no, that's one thing that I also, in one of the previous ladder chats that I mentioned, that I didn't really quite understand why you could heal them when they were Hellbats, but not while they were Hellions. But honestly, I feel that they're way more versatile as Hellions, just because I find if you want something beefy, just go with a Marauder, you know?
Well, yeah, exactly.
I know that you know, that the Hellbats are useful for holding back things like Zerglings, and Zealots. Zealots probably more so, because if you're playing against Zerg, then we are in the Bronze League.
Oh yeah, we're ranked 99 bronze. Yes.
Yeah. It's like you can't get any worse than that. But
no, what are you talking about? We can only go down from here. Ladies and gentlemen, you've witnessed history. Rank 99 bronze in the beta. We can only go down from here.
Like, we're at the bottom of the bottom.
We're at the bottom. We can go to the Wood League.
Like, we're garbage. This is the worst of the worst. It really is. Think about it. You know, you can't go lower than bronze.
That's true. Anyway, back to your point.
Anyway, yeah, what I was saying. Against Zerg, I think the mobility of having Hellions in their, well, I guess car mode, or whatever you want to call it, it just feels a lot more useful. I guess if you're going to fight up front, of course, Hellbats might be a better option, but it's just honestly, with things like, you know, Mutiling Bling, I'm sure they could soak up a lot of damage, but it just doesn't feel as natural, I guess. Maybe I'm biased just because of Wings of Liberty and how fun it was using Hellions with Blue Flame and stuff like that, but especially against Protoss too, if you're stutter stepping, what's the point of even having Hellbats there to soak up Zealots when you're not even supposed to be letting the Zealots get to your arm?
Also to remember that they do plus damage to light, and Zealots are considered light.
Well, that's what I mean, though.
They're helping you eat away the Zealots. Like, yeah, you can't stutter step them, but they're helping you eat Zealots.
I guess if you have them on the front line, you could kind of forego stutter stepping, because, you know, if the Zealots can't get to your bio army, you know, you don't need to stutter step.
Yeah, this is true.
So that's interesting too. I mean, it takes a lot of, again, it's just a beta, so it's gonna require a lot of playing with, but
yeah,
maybe I just haven't experimented enough with Hellbats.
Well, and actually, let's just stay on this tangent since we're on balance test. We'll come back to the GSL after this game when we can actually like window out and look at it. What other things in the beta have you noticed that you liked, disliked, things like that? Since we're getting to that point actually now where, if you think about it, in Blizzard's case, you're in crunch time. You're getting to a point where the game needs to be done without pushing back the release date, which is something that they don't want to do because it costs them a lot of money, but they also don't want to do it from the player standpoint because that's, you know, you're hurting your community every time that happens.
Yeah, no, it's definitely true. One thing I'll mention is that if you want to come into Heart of the Swarm and try to play TBZ like you did in Wings of Liberty, it's not ever going to work, and you're going to fall flat on your face. And the reason I say that is just because of Vipers. And even with PVZ, I could see this being a problem. And maybe not a problem, but just something you're going to have to adapt to, and something I haven't really found a sweet spot for, as far as not exactly countering, but at least playing well against. And that's Vipers and their ability to just pull your siege tanks from wherever they are. Like, one of the most important aspects of TVZ and Wings of Liberty was having your siege tanks placed appropriately, and not having them, not letting the Zerg catch you with your pants down with your tanks unsieged. But if you get into a position where you have really good siege tank placement and the Zerg can't engage you, well, if they have at least a decent amount of micro, they can just pull your siege tanks to wherever they want. And so that essentially, that and Blinding Cloud. Blinding Cloud is another big thing. Being able to pull your siege tanks and then giving your siege tanks one range where they can't even fire. Again, in the past, we've noticed that obviously a ball of roaches is probably not going to do very well against a Terran Marine tank push, because tanks are just going to destroy your roaches. And obviously earlier on in the game, because Vipers are hive tech, earlier on in the game that won't be such a problem. But later on in the game with Blinding Cloud, you can literally just burrow your roaches, and this is what I've seen in several YouTube videos. Leave roaches burrowed, and then Blinding Cloud tanks, and you just pop them up and just go kill shit. And it's just, the fact that your tanks are almost useless is definitely going to force Terran to try and go something else.
Well, but one thing on
find another composition.
One thing on that front that I found interesting, though, and I didn't know this happened until today, actually, was the removal of the siege mode upgrade.
Mm-hmm.
It's no longer an upgrade. For those that don't know, you get siege mode automatically now, upon building the tank, and we actually do know where they're at now. They're straight across from us.
No, I'm right over there anyway. I'm doing some more Reaper stuff, but again, you can probably see what I mean and how frustrating that can probably be for somebody who's really used to using tanks against Zerg. If you decide not to get Vipers, then that's probably not going to be an issue. But again, if you're a Zerg player and you're having trouble with something like Marine Tank, then you're obviously going to go for Vipers, just because they make dealing with tanks so much easier in the late game. And that's also why I wanted to say that they could be super useful against Colossus for the same. So you can pull them out of place. You can reduce their range to 0 with Blinding Cloud. There's just so much you can do to knock out those power units of the other races.
In fact, that was how Blizzard demoed them, was to pull Colossi out of the Death Ball and make things like that viable.
Yeah.
I'm not
a Protoss player. Yeah, I'm not a Protoss player, but I could definitely see how that could be very frustrating. Have like one of the key units in your composition just get obliterated.
It's very frustrating from that standpoint. I've been on the wrong end of even.
Fuck, Mothership Core, Stalker. Damn it! They knew. Oh, okay, these guys were at least somewhat ready.
Okay,
he's Mothership Core, and he has several Stalkers out right now.
Okay, well, that's fine.
Yeah, they're both going Stalker. It looks like not heavy Stalker, but no Zealots at all.
Yeah, they went. I bet you they went blank. I'm not even gonna lie. I think that's what they did. Being in the position though where I've actually lost battles like that, like your Colossi wander too far forward, or in this case they get picked off, or whatever the case is. That's a very frustrating feeling for a Protoss player, because okay, you just sunk 300, 200 into this very, very late tier unit. Okay, I mean, like, it's to a point now where that's your livelihood, that's your gamble, so to say. And to have that taken away from you is kind of a shitty feeling. And I
Yeah.
say kind of very lightly because I mean it's almost like a little piece of you dies every time that happens.
Well, if you just think about how that works in Wings of Liberty currently, if you lose your Colossi, you know, if you lose one, no big deal. But if you're going at least fairly heavy, well, we have a huge stalker pushing coming, by the way.
Do you have anything?
I have Marauders, but only like 5.
I have
So
roaches.
put some fucking spines down, man. Anyway, um, and Wings of Liberty, if you're going, you know, using maybe 3 or 4 Colossi in your Death Ball composition,
Mm-hmm.
you know, losing those, it's only 4 units, yeah, but that almost spells GG for you if you lose those units. And you probably know that a lot better than I do, because I mean, again, I don't really play Protoss, but
Well, and I mean, sometimes it's not even a matter of playing said race. At times, it's just a matter of knowing that inevitable could happen, and it's not a fun feeling by any shot of the imagination. And actually, when the Swarm host was announced, I was kind of terrified by it for that reason.
yeah,
You know, it's just that ability to pick off this really high tier tech unit.
yeah.
That, you know, it kind of scares you when you're not sure what's going on.
Yeah, no, that's another thing I wanted to mention though is that while I haven't really run into Stormhost that I haven't really had that much of a problem with him on the ladder. But if you've been paying attention to Day 9 recently, you know he's been featuring cats on the dailies, root cats, and a couple of cats builds. I think he did this like 4 hatchery thing before he even got a spawning pool, and then he kind of not exactly rushed at that point, but went fairly heavy swarm host, and made really good use of them. Used them with Nidus Network. That was pretty interesting to watch. And you know, if you want to, you can go back and watch the VODs and maybe learn a little bit more about what he was doing. By the way, they've got an expansion here, but nothing mining, so I don't know what's up there. But yeah,
Well,
yeah. Look at that time warp. Oh yeah, pulling back to the spines, man. All right, let's. They're running away. I don't even have stim yet. Well done. Okay, what were we saying?
We were.
Was I talking or were you? I can't remember.
I don't remember.
It's like I remember mentioning the VODs that are probably up of Day 9's dailies featuring Root Cats and his Swarm host shenanigans.
Yeah, I know they are up. I have not personally looked at them though.
No, I mean they're definitely. I mean, before recently, I really didn't watch the dailies too often, but especially recently, I've been, you know, making sure I watch every one of them. And I felt like it was a really good episode, a really good series and week as a whole too. We have no AA. This stupid mothership core is just gonna.
And I can't control roaches apparently.
Yeah, that's okay. Just say when. Dur. Oh, you bastard! No! Save my orbital!
Let's go take care of that.
No! Oh my god. Okay, you attack him there, and I'm gonna go in behind him, right? Yeah? Oh my gosh, dude, this is very depressing. I'm at least gonna kill these proxy pylons. I'm all about that. Looks like they warped home. Yeah. Deny my expansion and warp home. Any comment on Mothership Core, by the way, while we're talking about HOTS units?
Personally, I think it's... I don't know. I'm a little depressed with the way Blizzard changed it, but all in
You
all.
mean taking out the Envision?
Yes. For those of you who don't know what Envision was, well, actually, it wasn't Envision. It was the, oh God, I forget what that was called. It was the ability that allowed you to see stealth units early in the game. It was a really, really helpful ability for a very long time because there for a while there was some craziness with ETs, all that fun junk.
Yeah.
So,
I'm gonna check out this bait. It looks like he's mining some shit off of that right now. No third though from either one of them.
okay, well, I've got my third. Hopefully they don't catch my drones. But
That's another thing that I feel like Reapers are really useful for now. That you don't exactly have to devote to the tech to make them go faster, but you can just send one out of your factory and then just use that as a scout. And it's just as fast as speedlings. Well, not just as fast, but close. And they could be used for that sort of scouting. And I can just send one across the map to expansions just to check for stuff like that.
mm-hmm.
And it looks like if you didn't see, they are getting that expansion right there. At this point, I don't think that matters, though. We should probably counter, too. What do you think?
Give me 1 second to pump another round of roaches.
All right. Hopefully they don't go air, or else we might be screwed. Because you don't need a coach, you only need mass roach.
Yep, let's go.
All right, you want to take that out first?
Yeah, let's go do that.
Just deny that expansion.
There's an OBS. Right there. You just passed it.
I don't have AA. Dude, defungal it and put some infested terrans there. You should be okay. Say good night.
Okay.
Void Ray. Oh, man. He just quits. Oh, man. That's what I love about this game.
Yep, just stand in the fungals. Stand in the fungals.
They can't really do anything about that. It's one thing about fungal, you just cannot micro. Dude, fungal that Void Ray. Oh, man.
Fungled.
Oh.
Fungled. Woo.
Kaboom, baby. I've been on like one base this whole game. What does that say about me?
Says you're pretty bad.
Well, not technically one base. Like, I mined out my entire first base before I actually secured that expansion because they denied it a couple times. Oh, man. I want Warhound back, honestly. Oh man, he's chronoing out something out of that starport or Stargate.
Probably another Void Ray.
Oh, it got out.
It's okay, he's not focus firing anything down that can potentially hurt him, so that's always a plus.
Anyway.
Yeah, so as a whole, I would actually say the beta at this point is in good shape.
I actually feel the same. There's no incredible imbalances that I've run into.
Yeah, definitely. And it makes it nice from a gameplay perspective. But enough about that for now. Let's move on to topic number 2, which is, as mentioned before, the GSL. January 22nd, so 2 days from now, Group A will play, and that is Creator, BL, Symbol, and Life. So 2 GSL champions. I don't know if Creator is or not. He might be. Group B is Lenok, Baby, Curious, and MC. January 24th, Group C is Sniper, Huck, Bomber, and Gumiho. January 25th, Group D, Hyun, Bongbi Bong, Yoda, and
I don't know that. Bong Bong?
Yeah, Bongbi Bong. I don't know how you say
Boong
it.
Boong?
Yeah, something like that. January 29th, Ryung, Losira, Byun, and Parting. Parting, of course, no longer part of Star Tales. He did join a Kespa team. I'm not sure which. January 30th, we're looking at Marine King, Roro, Keen, and MVP. So that is a very Terran-heavy group. And then Group G is Sulky, Nobilis, Nesty, and Tasia. And then finally rounding out the round of 32, we have Group H, which will play February 1st. And that is Bogus, Stefano, Hack, and Dong Regu. And as mentioned, the Team Liquid poll is saying that Group A is the group of death. And like I said earlier, I can kind of agree with that. Any thoughts from you, Freekz?
Definitely, with players like Creator and Life in your pool, I mean, that's a pretty good sign. Of a group of death. F's actually up there too. And yeah, as you probably know, I'm a fan of Lenok, so.
Yeah, there's some very familiar names. We're starting to see some big name Kespa players come in.
That's not Baby Knight, is it? Baby in Group B?
I don't believe so. I think
no. Yeah, Baby Knight's a Protoss player, and this is a Terran. I haven't ever heard of this guy.
Yeah, I think he's a Kespa player, to be honest.
Yeah, and then I will mention that I'm very surprised that Huck's making an appearance in GSL Kodas in Group C.
I'm actually surprised we didn't have Stefano, because I know Stefano is in Korea participating in Pro League.
He is. Stefano is in Group H.
Oh, he is?
With Don Regu.
Oh, wow. Apparently I missed that when I was saying it.
Yeah.
Do you want to queue up for another game? We can continue to talk about this.
Yeah, we can.
With that, also, for anybody interested, and I know by the time this gets put up, this is not going to even be applicable, but EGTL is playing Team 8 tonight in the Pro League. That starts in about 2.5 hours. So definitely check that out. They play Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night, and I believe Monday night. So there's 4 nights that Pro League is actually on every week. And there have been some good games, but as I have cried for in the past, there are also games where it definitely looks like we're back in 2010, where it's just utter cheese fests.
Battlecruiser Rush.
Well, there is crazy stuff like that happens. So I mean, like,
I've never really tuned into Pro League, so I might do that tonight at some point.
You should definitely do it. We can talk about that afterwards. But that's there.
I also wanted to mention, well, again, just about Huck as a whole. He kind of, he was super popular back in 2011, and then he sort of dropped off, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you just stopped hearing about him. I don't know why that is. I mean, I don't think he, was a worse player or anything like that. But, he kind of dropped off, and I didn't hear him posting any kind of results. But, it's good to see that he's back and he's playing hard and stuff. Also, Bomber in Group C. I was mentioning, big fan of Bomber here. I stole his TVP for Wings of Liberty, and Brian has yet to defeat me with it.
That is a good sign.
I've talked about it in the past. It's the whole 1 racks expand into 5 racks into like 11.5-minute push.
Yeah.
With like 4 medevacs and a shit ton of bio.
Which is very tough to defeat.
Honestly, I could send you some replays of me and Brian, and then you could just tell me what you feel about it. I don't know. He'd probably like that.
Yeah.
What the fuck is this guy talking about?
Kibbles? I don't know.
I'm not even paying attention.
But so let's move on into the next topic then, since the GSL actually right now, since nothing has started, is kind of a light topic. On the other hand, there was another tournament this weekend, IEM. I don't know who won that. I don't know.
First won it.
First did? Okay.
That's his first tournament win. Ironically, because his name is First.
Yeah,
I hadn't heard of him prior into this event, so I know he's probably just another up and coming player. I could do a little bit more research on that, but I haven't exactly heard much about him. But I know he's called First.
yeah, and like I said, I haven't had a chance to watch that, so I apologize to everybody for not being up on my.
Yeah, Brian and I actually watched some of the games yesterday between. Is it Kas? Kas?
Yep,
You pronounce it
Empire.
Kas?
Yep.
Yeah, Kas and Sake, and they were a little bit lackluster for being professional games.
I actually I've heard that more than once about some European tournaments that they've been lackluster due to player performance. One that specifically sticks out in my mind is one of the very first DreamHacks was considered lackluster. At the time, I was just a bright-eyed kid. I didn't care. It was Starcraft. But looking back at those games, I can definitely see where it was, not very good.
Yeah, and that's what I'm referring to is just the level of play. I mean, while there were definitely some good things going for both players, there were a couple of games there where I was just like, it's hard to believe that these guys are, professional when you're making mistakes of this caliber.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not to say that they're bad players or anything like that. Everyone has a bad day, but I just wasn't impressed personally.
Yeah, the games just weren't awe-inspiring, which
Mm-hmm.
is understandable. But that happened this weekend. Congratulations to First on winning that. All of that fun stuff.
Oh shit! Fuck, Ken.
You got six pooled.
Not quite.
So
but he's being a dick.
the first for the first time, I think, in our very short history of doing ladder chat, we're actually not going to have a conversation about Destiny's penis. But Destiny was...
We can change that.
We can, but we're not going to. But Destiny was in the news of StarCraft 2 here last week. And for anyone who doesn't know what was going on with that, again, Team Liquid is your friend. And they have it posted up there, but we're going to talk a little bit about that, and that is streaming sites not paying.
I heard about
talent.
this too, but it was from Airhead Lol. I work with him, and he won one of our tournaments, as you probably know. He was talking to me about this the other day. About owned not paying out.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. And that's why we watch Twitch, guys.
Well, and I mean, it may or may not be something against owned. I personally have never had any interaction with those people whatsoever. The one time I did, I absolutely could not stand their style of doing things. Not to say that just their stream layout was a little bit weird for me. So I never had a good feeling with them. But that's besides the point. Basically, Freekz just hit it on the head. Destiny was quoted as saying that they never paid him, and to any record they haven't. And the owners, when it would come time to talk about it, just wouldn't. It sounded like Destiny tried to get in contact with the main guy at Owned, and every time he did, the guy would be evasive and just not talk to him, not actually follow through on some of the promises they had made him, which is shitty because he goes on in his article to say, I've basically depleted whatever savings I have in Holland, because right now he is still over, or Sweden. I don't know where he's at exactly. But he's over at the Ministry of Wind in Europe. So he's depleted whatever savings he had trying to keep up with this and keep up with everything else. And is just sick of it. He's sick of Sick of all of it. So it was like something like a week before his contract was actually up with Owned, he went back to Twitch. And now apparently they're awaiting some legal proceeding or legal trial or legal verification or something to, you know, say that this was okay or not. But apparently Owned is not happy about it, which is understandable.
Yeah, definitely. I'd be pretty pissed too in their position, or Destiny's position.
Yeah, you know, this is one of those times when I actually side with Destiny because I think it's a crock of shit that you sign a contract and, you know, they said, yeah, we will pay you to do this. Don't you worry about a damn thing. We will, you know, we'll pay you the salary. We'll pay you a number. If you're gonna fucking do that, then do it. You know, don't play with the guy. Don't get him basically stuck in a location because you refuse to pay him. If you're having financial troubles, be upfront with your people. Do not just sit back and say, "Oh, you know, this is too bad. You're gonna have to deal with this yourself."
Definitely agreed.
I think that is a horseshit move on the part of Owned, and I think, and you know, I don't, like I said before, I don't agree with Destiny often, but I do think this is one time when rightfully he deserves better. So
no, I mean, I'm definitely, that's, I mean, it really doesn't matter whether it's Owned or really any corporation. You know, when you promise something like that,
you know, follow up on
and they actually do the work, or in this case, the streaming, whatever it is, the advertising. You know, you should probably hold up your end of the bargain, or again, like, you'll have a pretty big legal problems on your hands.
Well, and the big thing is like it comes down to a practice of better business, and at this point, Twitch has everything beat 6 ways from Sunday. You know,
hey, back here at my third.
My main is getting.
This is big fucking lots of roaches, and so this is a big problem. He just killed all my tanks. Fuck. Uh-oh. Yeah, dude, what's going on at home? Mutalisks?
Yeah.
The fuck?
My dog apparently is freaking out, and I don't have a mineral line. Fantastic. Oh, wow, and now we're getting...
What the fuck's going on here, man?
We just got Ling Muta baned.
No, we didn't. I never saw a single Mutalisk or Baneling, but I'm just getting destroyed by massive amounts of Zerglings. Whoa.
Yeah, apparently people in the beta still don't know how to play. Fantastic. And I just saw more Mutalisks.
Where?
They came across the middle of the map. We got them. We got this.
I have mines.
This might be GG. I can't do this. Unless you can clean up mutas, I'm having problems.
I have a Thor here.
Can you put one in my main, maybe?
Why? Well, how many mutas are you dealing with? If it's more than 5, then it's gonna be worthless.
It's more than 5.
Fuck. That's not good.
Time to drop the hydrogen.
I'm building a ton of widow mines in hopes that we can actually succeed at doing something here.
So now we're dropping the reactionary Mutalisk, or the reactionary Hydroden. Because we all know how good that is.
Dude, look at this. What is going on here?
Fuck. And yeah, my main's getting decimated. I think one guy was money dumping.
That's a lot of lings, that's a lot of blings.
And that's a lot of mutas in my base.
Just wait for them to push.
They did push, like
unless they're really. What I meant was wait for them to push into our actual base, but I'm burrowing widow mines, and one of them made it. Are you just gonna match the roach every game, man?
No, I'm not.
I'm kidding. I have 2 Thors in your base mopping some stuff up.
That's cool. I don't have an economy. And that's a bunch of roaches.
That's
that is a
fault,
roach all in.
dude. I seriously, they ran over like 6 or 7 widow mines, and then none of them took damage. Well, I mean, they took damage, but it didn't do anything to their numbers. Look at what is this, Ken?
What? I'm trying. Okay. Like,
What is this?
This is us losing.
Look at what I'm. Get this on stream. What is this?
That is a manor hatchery by Kibbles. And Freekz is starting the BM. You're gonna have to tell me what they say. I blocked them early because I didn't want to hear it.
He says, dude.
Short reinforced distance? I don't think so. That was a manor hatch if I've ever
It's
seen
saturated Sunday. What does that mean?
It means that somebody's a cheating whore. That's what it means.
Oh.
But yeah, basically the moral of the story is, you know, Twitch, in my opinion, is a better company anyway. But the moral of the story to Owned is don't be a shithead and pay your people.
You should write him a good angry letter.
A good angry letter, yes, I should.
That will be your closing statement.
That will be my closing statement.
Owned.
And
Please, don't be a shithead.
Yeah. And then Gooby, please. After that, you have to.
Really, Boggs?
So that brings us to almost the final point. We've got 3 left. This is the last major one, though. And that is the Complexity House in Houston, Texas is closing down. Personally, I don't feel like actually this is that relevant, considering EG is the only team in the foreign scene that has successfully opened up a house in North America and has made it work. I feel like by Complexity closing their doors, they just are admitting how
subpar they were.
Well, either subpar they were or how razor's edge that community can be.
Mm-hmm.
And let's not pull the wool over anybody's eyes. It's hard to run a team.
I was going to say,
a pro-sponsored team, it is
pretty tough.
Fucking hard to do. I'm not going to try and sugarcoat that, take anything away. It's hard to do. And there have been teams in Korea actually that have collapsed because of it. Slayers, TSL is a recent one that went down. There's a bunch of these teams that are opening up houses, they run for a while and then they close, which is just, like I said, a testament to how hard it is to actually run a team house or even run a team, because there's been teams that have collapsed because of this. So we bid the house a farewell. Jason Lake, the CEO of Complexity Gaming, has said that sometime in the near future maybe we'll try it again, but right now the money just is not there.
Will Complexity, the team as a whole, disband, or is it just the house that's closing down?
Just the house. So anybody who was in the Complexity house is no longer there.
Right.
So with that, we bid them adieu. Like I said, we'll still see Complexity in the news, things like that, all of that fun junk.
Yeah.
And then the next thing I just have on the to-do list, so to say, is we just had a multitude of moving. Now, mind you, we've been gone, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, about a month, roughly.
Yeah.
So there's been a lot of moving of players, teams, what have you, in the last few days to the last few weeks. And it's, there's too many moves to actually go over. So if you want news on that, go check out Team Liquid, go check out team sites, stuff like that. One of the big moves that I know of is...
Does that cover everything we had?
The last one I have is actually a what the fuck is going on in the world moment. And this is the one that I told you about literally right before we got started. And that was after today's Falcons 49ers game. There was a fan stabbed in the throat in the parking lot Like, what is wrong with people? In today's
I don't know,
society,
man.
what prompts a person after a sporting event to just go up and say, "I'm gonna stab somebody in the throat," and he just
Lost a
does
bet,
it.
dude.
I mean, it's fucking embarrassing for America, is what that shit is. So if you're the guy that stabbed somebody in the throat, you are a worthless piece of shit. I'm sorry, but
True facts, man.
that is ridiculous on more than one level. You should be fucking ashamed of yourself.
So, was there any news on what happened to the guy?
Right now it's just initial reports. I haven't actually looked back. I'm sorry.
Right. Hmm.
No, I don't know at this point if there's been any other issues with that.
Anyway,
But actually, I think that's what we have for ladder chat in terms of.
oh no, that's not true.
No, what else?
Well, last ladder chat we made a promise.
Oh, we were such a cock tease.
We were
We are
massive cock teases, and you got mad at me for that.
I know. I'm sorry. Do you want to announce it, or do you want me to?
Well, what do you think?
It's going to end up being both of us at some point in time or another, anyway. But you go ahead and tell them what it is.
Okay, well, last ladder chat we told you that we had something in store and planned for future hive-mind endeavors outside of the actual LAN parties, because we've grown to a point where a lot more popular than we were, let's say, even a year ago at this point. And with that, there's interest in doing other things and keeping the hive mind community involved outside of the LAN parties, which only happen 4 times per year, twice a semester. And what this means is that upon searching for something that we could, pretty much do something worthwhile with, that would be good for public relations and just provide a good time for hive mind members as a whole, we decided that we go down the route of organizing a charity event, specifically a Starcraft 2 tournament. And I think at this point we've also confirmed that there will be League of Legends there for all of you facepalm LoL players.
the whole 2 people that watch this, I'm sure somebody will be offended. Be like,
yes, yeah.
Well, nice.
If you're offended by that, I'm I actually don't care. I was about to say I'm sorry, but
that's the spirit.
No, LoL is definitely a respectable game for what it's done for esports as a whole. But anyway, basically, we're aiming for this to happen sometime in mid-March, sometime after spring break. We've already talked with Child's Play Charity, and they are on board. So, once that's all worked out, when we work out a venue and some sponsorships, honestly, that's all that comes after that is organization and just, waiting for the date to come.
Organization and getting players.
Definitely.
At this point, the StarCraft tournament, we're hoping to do some sort of a GSL style tournament. We'll see how many players we get. We may have to amend our style on that one.
We also need to get licenses from Blizzard.
Yeah. So at this point, realize that while we have officially announced it, everything is still very tentative. We don't have, we can't confirm nor deny a whole lot at this point.
Yeah.
Just based on the fact that we ourselves do not know what's going to happen. So.
I mean, we definitely have big hopes and dreams as far as this goes, and definitely going to throw all of our weight behind making it happen. So, I mean, if you're asking whether you could expect it to happen or not, I'd say do expect it. And, if we disappoint you, I'm really sorry about that. But we don't plan on making that happen. We don't plan on disappointing you.
Yeah, this is something as a whole that we want to happen. We feel like our community here in Bozeman and actually in Missoula and Helena, we've actually had people come down for tournaments in those
I was really surprised by that too.
those areas. Um, we've had a lot of interest happen in that front, so it's literally just a matter of getting people involved and making sure that we get the right people involved and the right people notified. But at this
Yeah.
point, yeah, expect something. We're shooting for the week after launch of this game that we're playing right now, but
So yeah, when I did say a StarCraft 2 tournament, we are probably leaning towards Heart of the Swarm at this point. And please, if
oh,
anybody is
oh,
a
oh,
Wings
oh,
of
oh.
Liberty fanboy, we're not going to have that whole debate we have with Super Smash Bros. Brawl versus Melee.
Yeah. Oh, you
Dude,
got
they're corner. Let's corner them, man. Oh no, they're smart. Kinda. Yeah, get out of here, boys. Always, always additional supply depots. So I think we should push.
I don't have any units
Why? Oh, why don't you have units?
because I've been macroing and there's my
Because you're
money.
bad.
I am bad. I will admit I'm bad, but there's my money. Have it. Have fun.
Seriously? Why did you give that to me?
Because you can use it more so than I can right now.
Oh my gosh. Well, thanks. Though I'm not really set on going and pushing without you just because I don't want to take on two players. All right. So is that it?
I actually think for ladder chat that is it. We'll finish this game. We'll do wrap ups and we'll call her an evening after that.
I mean, definitely a good episode.
Yeah,
It's nice to get back into the swing of things, after our long break.
yeah. Don't get me wrong. The break was nice, but it is good to be back and finally getting stuff up. Also, expect to see some other content on the channel that this was on here soon. I'm actually going to start trying to get more professional games up and things like that as well.
Yeah, and that's something I should probably start doing too if I want to practice at all. But lazy man.
That happens though.
And it does, sadly. Should I make ghosts?
Probably
Or
wouldn't
can
hurt.
what can sometimes I just feel like being lazy Darren and making all tier 1.5 units. And I'm just about maxed, so. What does that say about your Zerg macro?
I'm just about maxed as well. I mean,
On roaches?
shut up. Okay?
Really, Boggs? Roaches don't count.
Might as well call me Roach King Prime, for God's sake.
Alright. We need to do something.
There's one Hydra in this mix, just so you know.
One Hydra?
Yes.
What was the purpose of that?
Well, I'm going Roach Hydra. Screw you.
Roach Hydra, huh? Alright.
Yeah, Roach Hydra, very literally Roach Hydra.
Roaches Hydra.
Roaches in a Hydra.
And I'm ready to go, so.
Let my next round of units pop.
What do you mean? I thought you were maxed.
I said I was close to maxed.
Jesus.
I know.
Well, I'm on 2-2. We need to go. I've got lots of medevacs and all kinds of fun stuff.
Okay, let's go.
Oh my gosh, Colossi?
Well, yeah.
You gotta go in first, dude. You gotta go in first.
Hate you.
Okay, and I will flank him. Alright.
Or just catch them.
Dude, epic flank. Oh, shit.
Run forward. Yep. There you go. Catch the Colossus with its pants down.
I'm trying. Oh yeah, I got him, dude.
Why did I not get Burrow?
Dude, we sandwiched them. I think we won this. Like, that was actually really easy.
Well, we are in the Bronze League. OP, my
OP.
ass. Learn to play.
No, no BM, okay? Be
All right.
happy, don't judge.
I'm
Smile a
not.
lot.
Drop on them. I don't want to lose any Hydras. Oh my
Dude, look at
God.
this. Watch this. I'm gonna pull what I did to Tyler. They're like, where did the army go? Oh, I'm just gonna drop it right on top of you right now. Aw, yeah. Love Terran. Love Terran.
And the reinforcement rally of roaches comes across the map.
Okay, I hear DTs, man. I need an Overlord or Overseer, whatever you got. I
Uh,
don't have a scan.
God, you're bad.
Dude, I just used. I don't know. I'm using good macro and I'm making mules.
Yeah,
So
there's
shut up.
DTs here. Can you scan at all? Like, do you
I
have?
just told you I don't have a
Oh
scan.
my God, I hate you.
I'll scan when I have one right now. Get it?
Yeah, I did.
That awkward moment when you A-click on your own units.
Done it.
Me too.
Oh God, he killed my overseer. And he has DTs on the way. But yeah, I just saw them run up. One behind Dark Shrine.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, now it's more so anytime Dark Shrine.
No, not anymore. They nerfed it.
They still didn't nerf it hard enough into the ground. I mean,
You can still, no, you can't. You can't rush DT anymore just because the Dark Shrine is more expensive than it used to be. They dumped it down to 100-100 at one point, and that made rushing DTs really, really easy. Seriously, this is like BM at this point. Dude, you lost. I'm trying to make a second Templar Archives.
you gotta try though. You gotta have hope. He has hope.
Oh my gosh. Do
That
people
way-
like rage quit so hard they just like pull their internet out? Or, I mean, it's happened 2 games now.
They must. Or they kick the cord. Yeah, and it's the guy that.
What an ass!
I know, right?
Like I don't get people like this. I mean, this is obviously purposeful, you know, because he's trying to buy himself as much time as possible, and when the feat is finally upon his head, he just pulls his plug.
Yep.
Well, you know what? He's going to be waiting longer than us because he has to reboot.
True.
Oh yeah.
So for ladder chat today, actually, it was fairly successful. We went 3-1.
Yeah, we didn't lose every game like we did.
2 weeks ago. Or
Yeah, the last ladder chat, I think we lost like 6 in a row.
something like that.
Anyway,
Yeah. So yeah.
so this will be our 3rd victory.
This will be our 3rd victory.
It's 3-1. It's a good way to leave it off.
Although apparently the other player is still in it. Oh nope, never mind. Never mind.
No.
All right,
Game
so with that, ladies and gentlemen, this has been another edition of Ladder Chat brought to you by Evolution Gaming, the MSU Hive Mind, and
Evo Freekz.
Evo Freekz is here with Evo Woodhaus. So with that, have a great night, ladies and gentlemen, and we'll talk to you next time.
Bye.